Dallas Diablos Radio.
Dallas Diablos Radio.
Welcome back to Dallas Diablos Radio, episode number 30. It's been a while since we've been around, so we took the moment where we're all staying indoors to get back together and see if we can get this going again.
It took the pandemic for us to just, be excited and get back together. So I hate to say it, but a bad thing brought us together. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And we're featuring our new member, Rafi. Say hello, Rafi.
Hello.
What up? He's getting ready to talk at length about everything. Man knows a lot.
Good to be here.
He's a good member of the team. So we hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's staying safe, staying healthy, not touching their faces, wearing their masks and their gloves and washing their hands. How's everybody doing so far?
Oh,
good. Good. He's free. Good.
Disease
Disease free, man. Excuse me.
Got the Rona.
Yeah, man. Just rocking and rolling. Things are good. Excited to hopefully get some soccer back here soon.
Yeah. Hope to get a lot of things back here soon.
Yes.
It's been weird. All right, so let's get going. Let's start talking about stuff. We always start at the first episode of the year talking about jerseys and kits. So what do y'all think of the brand new, what do they call them, the anniversary editions or the legacy edition kits?
Oh, Chop, you mean this one?
They've all got the stripes on the side. I actually hated it at first, but now I like it.
What did it take you to like it, though?
Seeing it on a real person on the field with the blue shorts, it looks good.
I like the fact they're finally doing the blue shorts because, for so long, it's kind of the same deal, but I like that they mix match the blue a little bit more. I don't think they use the blue as much, so it's nice, man. It's grown on me too. Compared to most of them that I think aren't too good. This one,
I agree. I think that at first I was very uncertain about it, but then once I saw it at the game, on a person full kit, looks really good. Grew on me.
Well, only thing I would say from like a graphic designer standpoint, I wish they had made those stripes. Why, if they had made those stripes white, it would have been perfect.
I think.
Can you bring it back, Joe?
Bring it back, yeah.
No
Take a
problem.
look at it.
But then maybe you have to put white shorts on. I don't know.
Right. So that's where I think. Because, if you look at jerseys, and Rafi quote me on this, like what they're trying to do is from a distance, they're trying to make the colors blend into the shorts.
Yep.
So it's smaller up top. Like if you look at like the U.S. jersey, the France jersey, like they're all the same rendition.
Manchester City.
Right, Manchester City. They're all the same renditions of the same jersey. It's just they're different colors. So that's what they're trying to do. But I think everyone's opinion of this is similar. Like I did not like it at first, and I saw it on a real person. I saw it live. I was like, man, that actually kind of looks all right. It did remind me like the '90s when the U.S. had the had this the three stripes on the shoulder and three stripes on the leg, and so
Germany had that.
Germany had that too. Yeah. So it's I like it now. I didn't at first though.
It's definitely one of the better ones of all the MLS. A lot of the MLS clubs got like really plain, just like really plain. At least ours has something going on.
To be fair, looking at folks like just on the bleachers, just wearing the jersey, I didn't like it too much. But the full kit on a player looks much better.
Yeah.
Word. What about like I know we passed. I don't know if you guys can see this too. I mean, like the past jerseys where it kind of ranks. I know we've kind of talked amongst ourselves, but just real quick, like I think it's one of the better ones they've done in a while compared to some of the ones. I mean, Chop over there rocking the old 2000 version Dallas Burn jersey, which is cool.
Yeah,
very nice.
But I think it's nice. I think it got kind of lost. I mean, some of our favorite ones are the 14-15 ones.
Yeah.
Wearing right now, and then they kind of put the idea, 2 years later, two times later. But I think it's finally gotten better. I know you guys like the previous 2 years ones with the Texas flag. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I like this better than most for a while, and I like the fact that they kind of got out of their comfort zone and tried something a little different.
Yeah. What about that very first year jersey though?
Oh yeah, It was awesome. Compared to all of them, it was really cool. I like the third one, the one here, the long sleeve one. I like that one a lot too.
The only reason why I like that is because I think I was in high school at the time when that came out, and my high school kit had those same socks. That was the only reason why I liked it. But it had colors to like.
The 96 one, I like 96.
Yeah, the 90 striped socks. Yeah,
That's legit.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, so how are we doing so far? We've only played 2 matches, but we haven't lost yet. We won the first one against Philly, and then we tied 2-2. Comeback from behind fight. That was a great comeback against, who was that? It's been so long since we played the games. I have a Michaela sighting.
Yeah, my wife wanted to say hi. Sorry.
Yeah, it's been so long since we played the games. I've almost kind of forgotten that the season's even started.
Yeah.
But we got a new player. Rafi, tell us about this since you're the Brazilian.
So Thiago Santos, pretty versatile player. He's done really well for us first 2 games. Center midfielder, very solid on the ball. His touch is good, quality touch. But he's somebody who can play box to box, or he can play as a holding midfielder. He has provided our other midfielders a lot of freedom, and I think that really worked out for us well, both in the first and second games. He had 104 caps for Palmeiras in Brazilian's top division. That is quite of an accomplishment because of the magnitude of what Palmeiras represents in Brazil and in South America as a whole.
Club.
They are a huge club. Early 90s to mid 90s, the Brazilian national team was essentially the Palmeiras team. So they would just take the Palmeiras team, put on Brazil national jerseys, and play.
Nice. Okay.
So it's a pretty big deal. Palmeiras has the most Brazilian Serie A titles. So big deal. And he was competing with guys like Felipe Melo, who has played for Juventus, Inter Milan, Galatasaray, all over the globe. So it's a big deal for us to have him.
And Felipe Melo also has some Brazilian caps as well, right? National team caps.
Oh yeah, World Cup and everything.
The World Cup caps. Yeah.
He was a starter for us in the World Cup in 2010. Yeah. But Thiago Santos, I felt like, so he played with Tasman, which to me was a surprise. I didn't know that he was going to get that much play time, let alone start a match this early in the season, shortly after signing with FC Dallas.
Yeah,
but like I said,
2 days before the season started.
2 days before the first match, yeah.
Everybody had given him up to become like a kicker at Clemson or something weird like that. And we go to the first game and there's this kid, and we were like, well, we'll see. But of course, like Dallas just keeps producing more and more players.
Definitely.
He's been great. Played every minute so far.
Yeah. And so Thiago's presence kind of freed up Tasman to do more with the ball and without the ball. Also freed up our other midfielders. Thiago covers a lot of ground. So it's kind of like having a solid center back in the center of the field who also has a touch, which, in my opinion, really helps.
He was like the replacement for Grayzo we needed last season.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I noticed that he was definitely a box-to-box player. His touch was superior to the player in that position. But I did like the fact that he would also provide offensive support too. Like it wasn't, and it was also, he was bringing creativity into there, which I think Rafi as a center midfielder, that gives you more creativity, which is what we need to be threatening when we're playing these better teams. Just anybody, but when we play better teams.
Definitely. He's more of a serious player, more of like a tactical guy, to where he wants to ensure that we're defending properly first, and he'll be the guy to get stuck in the tackles and put in that first tackle, and then once we have the ball, then look to distribute and contribute offensively, as the game goes. But what I like the most is the fact that he is emphatic on defending first, and then moving forward and trying to create something. But just wanted to quickly mention as well, he had a quick spell with América Mineiro, which is a club from Minas, just north of Rio. They are sometimes in the first division, sometimes in the second division. They kind of play that relegation promotion game. But they are, at times really solid. And the year that he played, season 14-15, they were actually pretty good. So he's had some caps with some other smaller clubs, but his biggest thing was Palmeiras for sure.
Has he played outside of Brazil before? Or is this his first time?
First time outside of Brazil. Yeah.
Okay. And how old is he?
He is 30.
Okay.
His birthday same month as mine, September. But he's currently 30. And it's like, typically central midfielders in Brazil, they're either like, very offensively minded or very defensively minded. And I like the fact that he kind of does both, but defending first and then moving forward.
He was definitely bossing in the back there, and then quick distribution started the offensive play. So especially that game we the first home game we went to, I believe.
How long ago was that actually?
Early March.
February?
It was February, actually.
February 29th.
Yeah.
Against Philadelphia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have somebody 30 years old on the squad where we're playing like 17 and 18-year-old kids.
Hey, let me ask you all this. So I mean, obviously he's a new addition, but who do you think we're expected to have kind of the breakout? I mean, the favorite's got to be Pomacall, right? I mean, he really sort of the U.S. team's looking at him. Anybody else you guys saw? I mean, obviously that's who I'm looking to get his jersey, or Reggie Cannon. Obviously Reggie's solid, but is there anybody else that you guys say was looking to have a breakout year? Or is he kind of like the guy?
Jesus Ferreira, I think, is also going to help us a lot.
And I think Ricardo Pepi too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
Pick one? That's my pick, Ricardo Pepi. I think he's going to have a breakout season. But I definitely see Ferreira. Yeah, go ahead, Ruff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I would say Jesus because Pepi has, he has Fafa in front of him. Fafa is going to be our starting striker.
That's true.
And so Pepi is going to have less opportunities, and Jesus is more than likely going to be a starter every game.
Right.
So I think Pomacall and Jesus, and then Pepi, the opportunities he does get, I believe he'll do well.
And then, of course, Andrzej scored 2 goals so far. And then
Andrzej.
The Cobra. And
Cobra.
And then Pepi got his first goal in the second match to tie it up. That was great.
It was a great second half performance for us. The first half was not good at all, to be fair.
I felt like it was Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Second half, I was just going to say it was a much better performance in the way that we played collectively. We started using spaces better and actually, as weird as it sounds, coming closer to one another and then passing the ball around, creating chances, and then getting spread out to, create that space in behind. I felt like there was more of a clear tactic and an objective in the second half, more so than we're just kind of playing in the first half.
Yeah, they definitely adjusted. The coach definitely did some stuff. Halftime was totally different.
Yes.
It was very quick how they adjusted from. It seemed like they were they had the first season game jitters, but they were very, very adaptable and very quick to adjusting to that. I have to give a shout out to the coaching staff for that, for recognizing.
One thing I would say that I guess helped us to turn things around was bringing in Santiago Mosquera. I think that kid is like, it introduces something different whenever he comes in, because he's pacey, he's flashy, which, I mean, it doesn't hurt, but he's got the dribbling skills, he's got the pace, and he's got the creativity, and he always brings his A game when he comes in for us. And a lot of people are actually chanting and kind of, asking for him to come in as a first sub. And so I'm sure, Lucci already had that in mind. It wasn't because people were asking, but he makes a difference.
Well, that's pretty good. All right, so let's move on to transfer rumors. What you got, Rafi? Another Brazilian in the wings for.
By the way, guys, this is the new Adam Schefter of the NFL. If you guys haven't known, we discovered it. Okay.
Yeah, we told you we picked up a good guy.
So he's better than Schefter. He's better than.
Oh my gosh.
Ian Rappaport on NFL Network. MLS. We introduced you to him now. So with that being said, go for it.
Man, it's a lot of pressure. Those are legends of the game right there. So as far as transfer rumors, FC Dallas has been looking at a guy named Andre Souza, another Brazilian. He actually had a small overlap with Bressan at Grêmio in 2018. Andre came up the youth ranks at Santos FC, same club as Neymar. So they're actually very close friends. Neymar, Gonzo, and Andre were, as they call it in Santos, the boys from the village. Santos' stadium and area, they call it the village. So the boys from the village are all the guys who are part of the youth program at Santos. Andre is a number 9 striker, poacher, not a silky player, not super skilled. However, he positions himself well in the box. Has really good timing, good in the aerial play, and he's just there basically to bury the ball. I mean, that's typically what you're asking of a number 9. So his first spell was 2010. He became a pro, scored 28 goals in approximately 60 matches for Santos. But keep in mind, he was not the number 1 striker, right? So he's a sub, just a kid coming in, whatever opportunity he gets. And Santos had incredible ammunition coming from the midfield with Neymar creating, with Gonzo creating. Gonzo at that point was better than Neymar, mind you that. Can you even imagine? And a lot of people don't even know who Gonzo is. And this dude, it was their first year as a pro, he was better than Neymar. So all this ammunition going forward, they're just feeding him balls. Santos had guys like Marcel, like Kleber, guys who played, in other countries. And so he's a kid, 18 years old, 19 years old, comes on, scores every time, basically. And Santos was kind of running, steamrolling teams that year. He's had some other good spells, too, at Atlético Mineiro, the club that we talked about before, that Thiago Santos has played for as well. He scored 32 goals in 80 matches. Then he had a couple of spells where he played for Corinthians, Dynamo Kiev in the Ukraine.
Ukraine? Okay.
Yeah. And then, but he didn't really have a whole lot of chances there. He got loaned out to Bordeaux in France, played a few matches, also not a big impact because he was not the number 1 guy. Then he played for Sporting in Portugal, went back to Brazil, played for a couple of clubs. So then you include Vasco, Santos, Sport. Now, Sport is what I want to talk about. So at Sport, he was actually the number 1 striker. So he's their number 9, right? So at Sport, people are just feeding him. The idea is to feed him the ball for him to bury. So he had 2 spells at Sport. The first one, he scored 14 goals in 34 matches, assisted another ton of goals, and participated basically in every offensive play. His second spell, he scored 27 goals in 69 matches. Again, these people love him. Sport is a smaller club who's always in the first division. They're northeast of Brazil, but they've won Brazilian Serie A. So back in the 80s, late 80s, they were a top 5 club, one of the best in Brazil. So he had 4 caps for the Brazilian national team in 2010. When that same year that he became a pro and Santos was again steamrolling everybody, he was scoring so easily that the coach was like, okay, we just got to bring this guy and see what happens. But like I said, he's not, an incredibly skilled player or, a dribbler, but he positions himself well. Aerial play is really good, and he just wants to bury the ball. And that's what you want to ask of a number 9.
Has he ever had a season where he's been just, not as sharp, and what has he done to actually, get himself back into to fitness, like where he's productive?
So he did. He spent a season with Vasco and he didn't do well. So he went to Sport and he actually hired a staff to train him at home. So outside of training with the club, he kind of did similarly to what Neymar used to do when he played for Barcelona. He had a full staff at home. Andre didn't have a full staff because he's not a superstar. He had a few professionals helping him. So the first thing he did was nutrition. He had a nutritionist kind of help him, dictate what he was supposed to eat each day, at what time, what quantities. And then he had training. Like he did a lot of plyometrics. He did a lot of speed training, agility training, and then just trained finishing like crazy. And so when he got to Sport, he just kind of took off, and that's why they love him there. They didn't want him to leave. But then Grêmio, who has been in the Libertadores final recently, I believe 2 years ago, and then the year before as well, they picked him up because, again, he was scoring for fun at Sport. But he wasn't the number one. Again, once he got to Grêmio, he was not the number one. So his numbers went down, but also because his play time decreased. They had guys at Grêmio playing on the Brazilian national team. So
all right. So he's like he could be a pretty good pickup. He's probably pretty hungry to just like take a team by the reins.
And I like the fact that he's can play in different areas. Like he's not just Brazil based only. Not that that's a bad thing, but the fact that you're out of your comfort zone, but you're still able to produce.
Yeah, because sometimes players, if they've only played in one country, we've seen that all over MLS before, not just with Dallas, but it takes them like 3 months to figure the stuff out. And
right.
Yeah.
If he's coming in,
and
what was going to be the midseason open window, which is now probably going to be Game 5.
Who knows? Yeah.
In June, maybe if we're lucky. So that'll be good.
And there was another important thing to kind of point out is the fact that he played for Santos and then he played for Corinthians, and he had balls to do that because that's a huge rivalry in Brazil, to the point where fans will like shake the bus and try to tip the bus over.
Yeah.
And Corinthians has the second biggest fan base in Brazil, perhaps South America, Flamengo being one. And so their fans are literally called fanatics. Part of their fan base is, fanatics, and the other part is called the faithful. So playing for Santos, and there was a lot of provoking the other fan bases. That when you scored back then, they would do dances, they would choreograph dances. Neymar, Andre, Robinho, they would all choreograph dances and provoke the other team's fan base. And so for him to actually play for Corinthians and just have the balls to do it well, and then play against Santos and he would score and didn't care. So shows a little bit of character.
Yeah, we go make up a dance and we can watch him do it in Houston.
Maybe. I mean, he knows Bressan. They might do it together.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, so I guess the last thing on the list really is to talk about the pandemic. When do you think this is all going to start to fade away a little bit, if ever?
We all kind of don't know about that. They're just kind of waiting on the first league to do something. I know they pushed it back again. I think another 30 days. I think April 24th, they're talking MLS season maybe getting going. So the thing people aren't really talking about is these guys now have been off for weeks, and you can't simulate any sport the same way. So they're going to have some sort of like a mini camp or something to get these guys in a playing shape, and that's any sport.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting what they do, and they can still try to do the season, and then would they do 2 games a week, 3 games a week? Well, I don't know. I mean, something to kind of squeeze in if you're going to try to play that amount, or just take the losses with the saying, hey, we're not going to play this amount of games, and into the playoffs and just see from there. So that'll be interesting. But I think no one really has a timetable on it. And honestly, people are just scared to be the first one. I think the Korean Baseball League said they're going to try to play in May. And then also Major League Baseball is talking about maybe playing in May in one place in Phoenix, Arizona. Like all teams would be there, no fans. So that'd be the other thing, is if they came back, would there be fans in the stands? People
are going to be weird for a little while. It's going to be weird. Like, it's going to be weird getting around people. I went to the shop the other day and was like, oh crap. I'm not usually like that, but it's been crazy.
Yeah.
And we're all going crazy.
We are. I feel like, generally, and I have a little bit of understanding of how these respiratory things are, because I have some respiratory conditions myself, but generally as the weather gets better, because it usually is prime season whenever it's cooler, there's less of it to go around out there. So I feel like maybe as the warmer months come, there'll be a little bit more activity happening. We'll maybe see some games that are with no fans, but at least we'll get some games in. But I feel like it's going to be a very long time before we're able to kind of have that social interaction that we had before. That's going to take a while, because cures generally don't come that soon, but treatments will probably come in the meantime, so that at least people are not losing their lives over this. So
And Joe, kind of going with what you were saying about the closed doors and some leagues are returning. The German Bundesliga actually returned to action this Monday morning. However, they are having the players break into small groups, and they are staying 6 feet from each other within those groups as they train. I know the Bayern Munich was the brave one to actually kind of show footage of the training and how they were getting it done to ensure that they were following protocol. And so Germany seems to be doing a really good job of flattening the curve more so than other countries. And so they perhaps could be one of the leagues that come back to normal before everybody else.
Yeah, we'll probably see like the Germanic countries and the northern and the Norwegian countries who seem to have their healthcare system more put together. They'll probably come back way before England and the U.S. does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we never know. Let me ask you guys this: what's been your show binge-worthy watch of choice? What's been the best thing you've seen, or something you picked up, a series, something else? What's been keeping you guys busy show-wise?
Show-wise, so
Yeah,
I saw The Boys.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
that was a really good one.
I just finished
Really
that
good
up
series.
earlier today. That's awesome. It's like the Watchmen was supposed to be.
Really?
Completely different take on superheroes, right? It was pretty interesting in my opinion.
What streaming service is that on?
Amazon.
Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime Video. Okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I finished it up last weekend in like 2 days, so it's good.
And then All American.
All American was mine. So yeah,
Where's that one?
All
at?
American.
Check it out, Joe.
It's on Netflix. It's about a football player, a highly recruited football player,
Oh, really?
high school football player.
I think I saw something about that.
Yeah.
Does anybody watch
Very
the
good
Tiger
show.
show?
Anybody watch
No.
what?
The Tiger thing?
Oh,
I watched it.
No.
When
That's
everybody
not
else
for
is like,
me.
watch it, I'm like, no.
I watched
Nah.
it.
good.
Is
So-
it worth it? Is it worth messing around with?
Well, okay. So whenever you watch
The
things,
mine's over, but everybody also bought all the toilet paper up, so I'm not sure.
well, they should invest into a bidet, right, Joe?
That's right. If we did that, we have to worry about toilet paper. I think that's
Bidets are awesome.
Joe, is that your one thing that you would copy the French on?
absolutely
That's
that and French fries. Yeah.
Okay.
French fries are from Belgium.
Yeah, they didn't invent the French fries, so that's okay.
Don't ruin it for me. No, but yes, absolutely. It's a great invention now. I wish I had it, so because I'm running low on toilet paper. So
Are you really?
yeah,
Are
I've
you
got
really?
a couple.
Let me know if you need a roll. I got 200.
Oh, thanks. You hoarder.
200.
About the people that were
my
getting.
goodness.
I have 3 left, but that's plenty for me.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I don't poop, so it's all right.
Oh, thanks. I needed to know that.
You know I got to work a poop joke in there somewhere. All right, so we're getting close to our 30-minute mark here. We're not going to waste too much of your time. There's not that much to talk about. But we're all going to try to watch online somehow if we can. We might try to do a thing where we all watch the replay of the Dallas Burn versus the San Jose Clash on April 14th. That's going to be on FC Dallas's website. It's the inaugural game from the 1996 season. So we might try to get together and watch that and make fun of the bad haircuts. It's probably going to be a pretty sloppy game.
Eric Ronaldo had one. I know that.
Did he get one in that game too?
Well, he had a bad haircut.
Oh, no, it wasn't that bad. I watched the
Ronaldo scored the first ever MLS goal, man. Got to respect the guy.
I watched that game the other day. His haircut was fine. It was the others that were
It was normal, yeah.
very suspect, yeah.
Hey, can I bring up one more thing?
Yeah.
Just quickly, just wanted to say that the social media accounts for the professional sports teams have been providing you with an opportunity, us all with an opportunity to get a custom-made background for our phones. So FC Dallas has done it, Dallas Stars, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Mavs, as far as I've seen. And you can tweet them your name and the number that you wish to have on the back of the jersey, because it's the back of a jersey.
Oh, cool.
And they have it made into a cell phone background for you. So keep an eye on the social media accounts, because you may be able to catch it.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, Rafi. So
Fantastic.
play the music. This is the new theme for MLS this season, and we'll play it out. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us this week.
You know, you missed us.
Yeah, if you remember us
Awesome.
at all, maybe you do miss us. But we're going to try to do this a lot more now that we figured out an easy way to do it without everything getting all set up weird with the cameras and the mics from the old days. So we should be able to do this a lot more. There's like kind of no excuse now. So thanks for watching. Goodbye from me.
Yeah,
Good
DDR.
night, everyone.
See you
Love you.
guys.
Dallas Diablos Radio. We'll put it up on YouTube and you'll see it soon.
Diablos Radio.